friends and family.
It's all about sharing a feast and cheers.
It's always been happy cause the children are dear.
It's all about peace every time of the year.
If only I could see your face again, not behind the screen at the other end.
If only we could party, kick back your boots, just let me.
Wishing Christmas time we'd be together again.
It's all about the family. It's all about TNC. What? It's all about the family. Don't fret, don't sweat. You know what it is, cause you know and I know we'll be together
We're
again.
going together to be together. It's Christmas time once again, and you know how we'll begin. Spread love and receive blessings from above.
If only I could see your face again, not behind the screen at the other end. If only we could party, kick back your boots, just let me.
Wishing Christmas time we'd be together again.
Wishing Christmas time we'll be together again.
The new channel. The new channel. Hashtag TNC Now.
The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following shows are those of the host, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Well, hello and welcome to the new channel. Born out of passion, we are a community that helps you be the new you. I'm Michelle Mras, live streaming from the beautiful mountains of Colorado, USA. You're watching Mental Shift, Season 4, Episode 49. Well, good evening to the United States and to the Philippines. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. You know, most businesses struggle to build funnels that actually convert leads into paying clients. My guest tonight helps businesses clarify their brand, build funnels that convert, and establish them as the authority figure in their respective target markets. He is a growth strategist, team builder, leadership coach, and host of the Leadership and Business podcast. He helps CEOs and founders remove the hats they shouldn't be wearing anymore. Please welcome my friend, Todd Westra.
Thanks so much for having me.
I'm so glad you were able to join me.
I am so glad to be here. What a privilege.
You get to help me finish off the year of Mental Shift of 2021.
Oftentimes when people produce a show at the in-between holidays, it's a crapshoot. Either you're going to have the biggest audience ever because people are sitting around not doing anything with their families, or everyone's gone. So this is going to be great.
We'll find out, but that's what replays are all about here, right?
Right. I'm so excited to be here, though, Michelle. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, I'm so glad. Now, remember that you don't remember. Well, you remember, but all of you watching and staying and watching and sharing. And oh, by the way, if you're there, share the live stream with your friends because they're probably watching your page. They may not be watching this page, but they're watching you. So share this live stream because they're really going to want to meet Todd. Todd is just an awesome guy. What's really cool about it is I just recently met him. He found me on Instagram. LinkedIn?
Yeah, we found each other on LinkedIn.
Oh, LinkedIn. Okay, because he messaged me, and I don't normally respond to LinkedIn messages, especially when they look like they're going to sell me on something. And he just said, "Hey, I'd love to touch base with you." And I'm like, "Seems like a really nice looking guy. Just seems like a nice guy." So I responded, and it was probably the best thing I've ever done because you were like, lost souls who found each other because you're such a neat person. You're so much fun, and I've tortured you in Las Vegas.
Yes. But it was a good torturing.
It was a good torturing.
That could sound really awkward to those watching, but it was not appropriate. We're good.
Yes, that we went out to eat dinner when he wasn't hungry and I wasn't hungry, but everyone else we were with were hungry. And so that's what the whole torturing is about because he wasn't hungry, I wasn't hungry, but we had a lot of food in front of us and it was pretty funny.
Massive buffet. As big as you can get in Las Vegas.
Well, and I wanted you on because one, you're really cool and your brain works amazing. I love it when people's brains work differently than everyone else's. And then with you, I thought you were like 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no way you can be 20 with the experience you have.
No, I was 20 once.
You were 20 once, just like I was 20 once, but definitely not 20 anymore. When our children are older than that, we can't claim it anymore. But I wanted Todd on because what Todd does is something that all of us, small businesses especially, ignore. We wait till the last minute and then we do, I wonder why we're failing. I wonder why this isn't working. Yeah. Todd figured it out. And so when I invited him on Mental Shift, it was because he's one of the few people who have gone through experiences, had multiple mental shifts around his business, not just his life, his business, and then improved his business. So Todd, are you ready? Can you share with us what was your mental shift, kind of your journey of, I know that's kind of a lot, but
yeah,
multiple things.
My journey into multiple things. I whenever I speak to an audience about business in particular, I kind of start off with, I tell people that everything I learned about business, I learned on my paper route. And for those Americans listening, you're very familiar back in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s even, kids were out delivering newspapers to their neighbors. And on my paper route, I had a vendor who brought me papers. I had to go out and sell the subscription to the papers to all my neighbors, as many as I could get to sign up. I had to fulfill by delivering the papers to their homes. I then had to collect money every month and I had to pay an invoice. Now, for those of you that are in business, those 5 steps are part of almost every business I've ever owned or operated. And so when I was a kid, I was the 8th of 9 kids, and my brother and I we thought we needed money for some cool toys. My mom said to go figure it out. And we got a paper out. And from that point on, the mental shift started for me at a very young age where for me, my family being a large family, didn't have the money to do all the things we wished we could do. And so my mom said, go figure it out. And my brother and I got a paper out and we figured it out. For 5 years, we delivered newspapers, sold to our neighbors, and got to know almost everyone in our neighborhood because we delivered the newspaper. We were the paper boys. And from that point on, Michelle, I learned a valuable lesson. I was 8 at the time, 13 when I finished. I learned all the basic principles of business, and I discovered later, just a few years later, that you could create a business out of almost anything that you really like to do. And that's been the biggest mental shift in my life. So it's kind of fun.
It is fun to know what you love to do and then keep doing it. Well, because the other part is that you, beyond the paper route, you've started, grown, and then exited for
Yes.
companies. And through that, what have you learned?
Through that, here's what I've learned the most. Always know your exit strategy. Always. And whether it's your own business just by yourself, or whether you have a partner, or whether you have other people involved in the business, always plan the exit. And that has been a huge game for me, because early on, nobody likes to think about the exit. They think, I'm building this really cool business, or I'm doing this thing I really want to do, and I could see myself doing this for the rest of my life. Well, don't see yourself doing it for the rest of your life. And then when it comes to an end, you're not too disappointed. In fact, you're excited about the next step, which is a huge mental game. And I meet lots and lots of entrepreneurs that think this product or this service that they just developed for their business is the solution that they want to do forever. And they get bored of it, and they don't know how to get out of it because they've entrapped themselves in their business and they're stuck. And so what I like to help small business owners realize and understand is not only ways to pull themselves out of their business, but ways to exit their business in a way that it doesn't leave them wanting.
So, Todd, we need a personal discussion with my business, because I need to build things, because I will be stuck. I made my business my name, and without me, it doesn't exist.
Right.
So yes, I'm gonna need to hire you and get myself out of the hole I've been digging, because I enjoyed what I'm doing, but
Yeah.
I will, like John Maxwell and Les Brown area. I'm the name.
Right.
And one day I'm going to want to retire, and there's
Right.
no way to do it. So
Right.
that's when people like Todd come into play, because he does build funnels, and he's seen those bottlenecks that happen around leaders. And like in my case, I am my own bottleneck. I am
Yeah.
what will stop me from growing, because there's only one of me.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So how many of you out there listening right now have just realized there is only one of you? There is no
Wow.
exit plan.
I hate that. That's a tough realization right there, Michelle.
It is, but reality check. That's what mental shifts are all about.
My wife sometimes wishes that there was another one of me, just slightly different. I'm just kidding.
I think my husband would like another one of me, but slightly calmer.
Exactly. No,
Oh my
Michelle, here's the fun thing, and I am very familiar with your audience, because, by the time in 2006, I had a business where I had a company installing audio video systems in homes, like massive multi-bajillion dollar homes, and bajillion dollar homes in Park City, Utah. I mean, we not only did them in Park City, but we did them in Las Vegas, Jackson Hole. And for those familiar with the geography of this part of the United States, we kind of did all the resort towns between Las Vegas and Canada, really, like all up and down the Intermountain Range. I even had a little airplane that I flew around, and I would go meet with clients all over the Intermountain Range. And it was just so much fun. Well, in 2006, we started pivoting our business to do more commercial work. And to do commercial buildings, it's a whole different game. A lot of a lot of wiring schematics, a lot of other things like that we weren't familiar with. And I needed to hire a draftsman. Well, I only needed about 10 or 15 hours a week. And in 2006, the thought of working in the cloud didn't even exist until 2006. And so here I was trying to find a draftsman, and it was very expensive. And I met an architect who had a team in Cebu, Philippines. And I said, "You have what?" He says, "Yeah, I have a team of 40 drafters in the Philippines. If you want to use them, feel free. Just send some work over, and I'll just bill you per the hour." And I said, "This is amazing." And so for 2 years, I spent all my time getting excited about doing wiring schematics and 3D modeling and all sorts of architectural things in the Philippines, not knowing that even existed. until that moment. And mental shift, yes, major mental shift. Well, in 2008, when the whole economy came crashing down in the US, I had an opportunity to buy his company from him in the Philippines. And so I did. And I went to the Philippines for the first time. And I was just amazed. I had no clue there were so many skilled people with so many amazing creative minds that were totally YouTube taught in most cases. It blew my mind. And by the time I left Cebu on that first trip, I had hired another 10 people to start a call center, not even knowing how to run a call center, but did it because I loved the people. I loved the personality. And it was just like, we'll figure it out. Let's do it. So I said, let's start in 3 weeks. We came home, started a lead generation company on top of our architectural drafting. And for the next 11 years, I ran a BPO in Cebu.
And that's why I love Todd. Let's do it. Let's just do it.
Well, you know, it's funny because as a small business owner, you reach points of maximum productivity. And the company that I owned at that time, the audio video company, it was so much fun. So much fun. I mean, Michelle, I had home theaters that I billed more than $1 million just to build the one room. Wow. Just the one room. And they were amazing. And it was so much fun. But that business was completely owner dependent. Like you described earlier, completely owner dependent. Your name is your brand. And then when you stop, your brand is now retired, right? Well, in that case, in that business, it was very, very difficult to scale and maintain quality control. I wanted to scale something big. And when I discovered the Philippines, I said, holy crap, this is scalable and this is going to be a fun ride. And you know what? I hired hundreds and hundreds of employees in the Philippines, not only in Cebu, but in parts of Luzon, parts of Mindanao, and even, you know, random little islands like Bohol. And it was such a great experience getting to know all these different parts of the Philippines, traveling to all these different islands, falling in love with the culture, the people, and their work ethic. And that, I think, was the most impressive thing I've ever done in my life. And so I stuck with it for a long time. And when I finally determined to move on to something different, it broke my heart because I immediately started missing all the relationships of all these wonderful people that I worked and employed.
You're still connected with them, though.
I am now. I rebuilt another business during COVID.
Oh!
Yeah.
So what's in the Philippines now? Because it's not
right. Well, so I exited my call center. It had turned into mostly call center and lead generation. And so we probably built 1,000 funnels in the health and nutro weight loss marketplace for that decade. And as much as I enjoyed that, I didn't really. And so what I did is I exited that. I started a consulting business. When COVID hit, my business died because it was all dependent on me and it was all in-person coaching, training, and instructing, much like you did in speaking engagements and things like that. And when COVID hit, it was so frustrating. And that's when I started my podcast, trying to figure out what I was going to do. I interviewed 250 CEOs and founders in 13 weeks. Very rapid fire, very, very fun. Yeah, just do the math on that. I was doing interviews 3 days a week, doing 7 to 9 interviews every day.
Wow, you're insane, but okay.
It was insane. But I needed to hire my team back. And so I hired a few people back from my previous experience in the Philippines. I hired a video editor. I hired an audio specialist. I hired a dev person to help me develop out some automations and things to help me build my workflow of my podcasts a little smoother. And by the time I finished all my interviews, I had grown my team by 4 or 5 times, and I was now outsourcing marketing, like what I was doing for my podcast, to my podcast guests. And it was amazing. And so from there, we started a whole new company, and the COVID pivot has worked. And now we are a small marketing agency growing every day. We help companies build funnels because most companies are horrible at building their funnels. And so I now have an amazing team of about 40 people spread throughout the Philippines, not in one single place. And I'm in love with it again. I'm in love with it because I love what we're doing, what we're producing, and I love my team. It is just so much fun.
So Todd, what I'm hearing out of all of this in the team is we're going to the Philippines.
Let's do it.
Let's
Let's
go.
film for everyone.
So, I mean, you blow my mind. So during COVID, you lost everything and then rebuilt everything. I mean, I started this TNC during the whole COVID, well, the end of COVID. I
Yeah.
started a podcast, Denim and Pearls, during COVID. You're still doing your podcast? Are you still doing your
Well, funny question. So here's what happened. The podcast, I had no intention of it being a podcast per se. It was a LinkedIn cast. And this was before LinkedIn Live. And when LinkedIn Live was released, I started doing some of them on LinkedIn Live. But the whole purpose for me, it was twofold. It was market research because I knew who I wanted to work with. Who I wanted to work with were small to mid-sized business owners who were in a growth phase between 20 and 200 employees. That was my target. And so my whole focus was I want to talk to as many people in that stage as I could to figure out what service they needed from me, right? That was my whole purpose of the podcast. The second purpose was I wanted to build influence on LinkedIn. I wanted to grow my audience. I wanted to grow my connections. And while I was trying to attract new guests on LinkedIn, my LinkedIn profile grew substantially to more than 12,000 connections, almost all of which are small to mid-sized business owners and founders, which is crazy. So I've got an amazing connection list. I've got an amazing group of people I'm connected with, all from trying to do this little podcast. Now, where we're at right now is it's been a year since I recorded my last episode. So in 2022, I am already starting to record new intros, new outros with a kind of a twist on marketing and leadership in growing and scaling a small business. And so the whole purpose of the podcast is I'm repurposing all the episodes with new intros, new outros, and it'll be about a 15-minute podcast that's going to be easy to listen to, teaching people what all these other business owners and leaders have done to grow and scale their business.
You are so smart.
It's fun.
It is fun. I'm just curious, why in the world did you reach out to me? Because the reason I said yes and answered you is I looked at LinkedIn and you looked legit.
Exactly.
And you are legit.
That's my point, Michelle. And that's the whole thing is too many people think that all they've got to do is create a product and they're going to sell it like crazy on the internet. It takes two pieces. It takes a cool product and it takes authority, because if someone looks you up and says, who the heck is this person trying to sell me on a marketing program? Well, when they search you up, they better see you effectively marketing. When they look at you, Michelle, as a speaker coach or someone who can teach people how to monetize their influence through speaking, you better believe they better see you as a professional speaker who's on TV and on the internet doing what you do right now all the time. And that's what you've done. You've built great authority. Now it's just a matter of refining your funnels to actually monetize your influence.
Hi, Todd.
I know.
Yeah,
everybody lacks one or the other.
We're going to have a business conversation, Todd.
Oh, we are. We are.
You need to save me from myself. Now, we have a lot of people saying hi. We have Helene saying hi. And, Brian says hi. My husband, Michael, says hi. Lucerne says hi. I think I might have just said your name wrong. And I can't go any further up because I'll lose people. But everyone's saying hi. So if you're on, please share the live stream. Telling you, I told you before, Todd is a very wise man. He's been watching. He learns very quickly. He adapts even faster. Hi, Apple. And that's why I wanted you to share this live, because Todd just drops nuggets of gold and diamonds and he's giggling while he's saying it because he's so much fun, because he loves what he does.
I love it.
And it's what we all want to do, right?
You know, Michelle, it is such a game, you know, and as a small to mid-sized business owner, you know, everybody assumes that all they need to do is hire a VA and all their problems will be solved. And the Philippines is exploding right now with virtual assistants, as you know, and there's nothing wrong with people being that solution for people. But what I would encourage everyone listening to do is stay in your lane, because I talk to people every day, small business owners who tell me, I hired a VA to help me with my blog writing. And then I started having my blogger start writing social media pieces. And then I had her start doing some video editing for my social media pieces. And she wasn't very good, so I got rid of her.
Oh,
you see the cycle? Cycle? You do what you do good, and you'll never get fired. You'll always be a valuable resource to that person. If you don't know how to do it, I would suggest skip the YouTube education, stay in your lane, be the best person you can be in what you do, and then associate with other people with other specialties and create a loop like that.
yes.
And for me, as a virtual assistant provider in many ways, I coach small businesses to do this. I say, look, either hire someone to do the one thing you need right now, or hire a team that has all these specialty people in it that can do things like video editing, because that's what they do. And then do the creatives, because that's what they do. And then do web development, because that is what they do. And we follow our clients through the stages of all those steps without them even knowing who's doing the work. But they get one amazing Filipino who can jump into the situation, be their account manager, and guide the work through all the rest of the people that they bring into play.
Brilliant. So I actually did something right. My VA, I gave my VA power of a power. Was that general power of I said, video editing. Do you know someone? Yes. I said, you subcontract. I only deal with you. You subcontract. Just got it.
Yeah.
Yes. See?
That's perfect, Michelle. That is perfect. That is how it should be done. And that is unfortunately not how most people do it. And I get it. Like, I get it. I talk to my, most of the people that I hire in my company, in my BPO, they are freelancers who just want something steady. And so I hear these stories from the other side as well, where it's like, yeah, I had this great client, and then they started asking me to do things I didn't know how to do, but I just told them I could do it. And it ruined the relationship, because you do one thing wrong and they forgot how good you were at that other thing.
Because they focused on the one negative.
Yeah, it's easier to think about the negative than it is the positive.
Well, Todd, I am so glad you joined us tonight, because I knew you were just going to be a plethora of information. And I want all of you out there watching right now, I see a lot of you, share the live stream, because it's the year end. We're all looking at our businesses, evaluating what we're doing and seeing what we didn't do well and looking at what we can do better. Todd is giving us a lot of nuggets on how to fix what we think is screwy right now and foresee what's going to happen in January and forward. Like right now, he just made it very acutely aware to me that I really need Todd in my life to help me before I get myself buried. But we will break for commercial, and when we come back, Todd, we're just going to continue this conversation, because woohoo, we're learning so much.
Awesome.
Okay.
Love it.
Don't leave. And those of you watching, don't leave. Share with a friend. We'll be right back after this commercial. Season's greetings from Colorado Springs, USA. Remember, have yourself a merry little Christmas and enjoy your family and friends this season. And we'll see you in the new year. Season's greetings. My name is Michelle Mras from Mental Shift. I'd like to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and remember to have yourself a merry little Christmas and have a wonderful time with your family and friends this season. Thank you for joining us tonight. Now remember, TNC is a live stream platform of online shows for people on the go. So please watch all of our shows as seen on the screen. Imagine having your own show, your own playlist, your own content, but TNC makes it easier for you. Now, TNC aims to transform the lives of our viewers through engaging, authentic, and original content. And our vision is to become a global 24/7 live stream channel that showcases Filipino talent, global influencers, cultural intelligence, and ingenuity. Now, watch Mental Shift every Tuesday. You're doing it right now. Every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time in the United States and Wednesday mornings at 10:30 a.m. in the Philippines. Or you can always watch the live or the replays via Facebook or YouTube. And also follow us on Instagram. And you can listen to us also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Just search hashtag TNC Now. Now, if you're interested in being a sponsor, especially for Mental Shift, please email NOW, so now at thenewchannel.com, or send us a direct message on any of the social media platforms. So enjoy the life-changing shows that TNC offers because we made them just for you. And just FYI, if you haven't figured it out yet, today is in America, 28th. In the Philippines, the 29th. We are approaching the new year very quickly. Are you ready for this? I'm not. So please bring on my friend Todd back, and we'll talk about what we can expect for the new year with our businesses and how to plan. How about that? Are you still there?
Oh, I'm totally here. Bring it on. Phase 2, let's do it.
Let's do this. 2022. It's going to be awesome. I saw a post on Facebook or something where someone said, I just realized 2022 is actually said 2020 also 2022. It's like,
How funny.
I thought it was a little silly, but anyways.
Well, Michelle, your whole middle section there, like that was great. And what you just said there to restart us off, planning for 2022, I think that you and I and many, many people who are kind of in the, we could say influencer space, people who are authors, people who are speakers, people who literally had their lives shut down because of COVID. 2022 is a year we've got to come back strong. And I think so many businesses are excited for us to be ready for them. We have to be effectively out there, right?
We have to be. We have to become the best versions of ourselves. I mean, we learned a lot of ourselves during COVID lockdown. We learned what our strengths were, what our weaknesses were. Brian Swanson's on, so I'm going to say this because it makes him crazy because I always talk about it. My quality systems analyst in me loves to talk about SWOTs: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Yeah. And COVID was the perfect time to figure all that out. It hit us in the face. And it's like, okay, what do I need? And in my business, being a solopreneur, basically, I realized I was one deep. Yeah. And that's when I said, okay, I need to do more. And I can go into what you and I started doing together.
Right.
Because when I realized I needed to do more, there was more to me than just speaking and coaching. There was a way that I needed to expand into other people to lift them up so they could do more. And then that's how I ran into you. That's how I ran into, Brian originally. Yes, Brian, SWATs, man, SWATs. And then ran into also Ken Rochon. And so we've got this little thing going that we will be doing eventually,
Right.
starting very soon.
Right.
But it's for giving back to speakers and authors, and helping them amplify them to be the better selves of them, and
Oh yeah.
to keep their business alive. And that's where you came in. The biggest part is when I heard what you did, I went, everyone I know needs you.
And everyone I know needs me. I'm just kidding. No, here's the thing, Michelle, is as with most small businesses, they are born out of a need that the founder had, right? And for me, as I was doing my gig with Google, that was my big client in between the call center and what I'm doing now, which is called Moku. I had the most amazing coaching, consulting business, even speaking business that I've ever dreamed of. I had Google as a client. And I was performing team building and leadership training functions with Google whenever I wanted to, practically. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of teams there, and I would submit proposals to different teams all the time. And I was kept so busy just teaching and coaching and training and having so much fun in person with teams that I literally thought I died and gone to heaven. But in 1 week, in February of 2020, all the business that I had booked for the year got canceled. And going to the theme of this show, I had to make a serious mind shift. Like, I thought, okay, 2 weeks we're shut down. We'll be back up in a couple of weeks, right? It was supposed to be a 2-week shutdown, if you recall.
Yes.
So the 2-week shutdown kept going and kept going. And I quickly realized I needed to do something. And as with most small business owners who are, I would say, sub 15 employees, so much of the business depends on that person and their small team. And when you don't have the skill sets, we scramble a little bit. We try to justify when we can hire that next person. We try to figure out, okay, if we had someone else that could help us with this thing, we would be just fine, right? That never ends. And what ultimately happens as you grow and scale a business is you find yourself in the beginning hiring a lot of generalists. People can help just put out fires whenever you need to have someone put out a fire. And then as you start to grow, you start to hire specialists. And you say, I only want you focused on this one thing because everything else is going just fine. But I need you doing this. I need you doing this. And if I had someone to do that, and that, that's where real growth and real scaling starts to happen. And that's the only way you can grow and scale. So, Michelle, for someone like you who has all these needs and so little time to fulfill all the things that you need, you've got to find strategic partners who do the specialized things that you need. And in my case, being a goofy entrepreneur from the time I was 8, I know how to get stuff done and build a team. And so what I did is I built a team internal that does all the things that I needed and said, okay, I bet I'm not the only one that needs this team. Who else needs this? So I started reaching out. And like you said, everyone you know needs it. Everyone I know needed it. And I was like, okay, I just got to bundle this up, package it the right way, and deliver when people pay me to do it. And that's what we've done with Moku. And so Moku is a really, really fun business because it's a Japanese word that means vision. And when I understand my client's vision, this is actually our mission statement. When we seek to clarify our client's vision of where they want to be, what they want to do, who they want to become, we provide them with the people, the processes, and tools that they need to execute on that vision. And so our company literally means vision. With vision, you can do anything. And that is the biggest fault of almost every small business owner I've ever met.
Well, because every small business owner doesn't realize they need it till it's too late. I mean, they wait till they're drowning and then they do, wait, I need a lifeline. And they start throwing it out there. And
totally.
Yeah. And we just put it into the chat. It's mcm.withmoku.com.
Yeah. Now, mcm.withmoku.com is a product that we've
Oh.
launched specifically for people like you and
Oh.
for people like me. And this is a product.
What is it?
MCM stands for Monthly Content Mastery. Okay. And Monthly Content Mastery is an amazing product. And this is what I love. I gave you this URL on purpose because what I want people to know is that there's a lot of people like you that have a great product. Let's say you're a great speaker. Let's say you're a great trainer on this specific thing. You're a bookkeeper. You're a whatever you are. You speak and you teach and you love to do that speaking part. As we talked about, you have a funnel that converts, meaning people will sign up for what you're offering. But if you have no authority, nobody believes you're the right fit for them. So what we've done with MCM, we literally, in less than 1 hour a month, we can produce up to twice daily content, 60 pieces of content out of the 1 hour a month for anyone in the world. And this is what we do. That means you get either every other day, daily, or twice daily content produced in less than an hour of your time every month. It's amazing. And so MCM is that product.
Wait, you gotta say it again. MCM, Monthly Content Mastery. .withmoku.com. Holy smokes.
Yes. It is amazing because it's the culmination of everything you and I have been talking about. It is, I need a video editor. I need a creative person to do my thumbnails. I need someone who can take the time to go post it on my social media. I need someone to engage. I need someone to, that's 6 people you need to do what I just told you I can do for you in less than an hour of your time every month.
I'm dumbfounded.
Right?
I'm gonna say, okay, I need to go get that. And then I need to tell my VA, just keep writing for me. Let them do everything else.
And that's the point, Michelle, is I meet so many people who have this perfect VA, right? And this virtual assistant becomes dear to you because they truly are helping you relieve a lot of your pain.
But I'm stressing her out. We can sublet to you and then let her concentrate on what she's really good at.
Yes.
He's like,
you see the vision.
Can't be taught.
That is the vision. And that is what Moku provides with our people is we come up with solutions for problems most people don't realize they even have.
Yeah.
Because when someone says to me, oh, I have my VA manage all my posting, you know what I do? I laugh.
You smiled at me.
I smiled.
You told me.
You did that. Yes. And I smiled and I chuckled because I know that you can't do it with just one person and actually have them do other things for you that you hired them for.
Oh, she's not doing that stuff.
It's not physically possible. And so what we do with MCM is we literally provide an outlet. We say, look, you don't have time, you don't have the people, you don't have the resources to pull this off. But if you're not present on social media in a regular way, nobody's going to trust you to be the solution provider you think you are.
Yeah. And my VA is masterful at my social media, but there's far bigger things that she wants to be doing that she's much better at.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
She's not alone.
Sold. You got me. Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay. I'll get on that.
You heard it here.
I know you all heard it here. And Anjali's like, Michelle, I've heard it. I'm sure she's watching.
Right.
She'll say, yeah, I get to go back to online courses. Yeah.
Right. Which is a whole nother animal. You know, there's so many things that producing a course, for example, producing a podcast, producing a this or producing a that. It is so much labor that people don't think about. And there's so many specialized needs for each of those things that you just mentioned that people don't realize. It's hard for one person to do all that.
Well, we all know it because those of us like me, we're doing it all by ourselves for the longest time and drowning in it, which is why we eventually get smart enough to reach out for a
Yes.
VA, and then
Yeah.
we abuse the VA because, oh wait, they can do this. Oh wait, there are so many people saying hi right now, Todd. I'm just assuming they must be part of your team because they all came up together.
Could be.
Yeah, there's
Or
a
it's
ton.
people shouting for joy that they don't have to be the do it all VA anymore.
That's probably it. All VAs unite.
VAs unite. You don't have to be everything to everybody anymore.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome. Oh my goodness. Okay. You've got me completely distracted. I highlighted it in green on my paper here that I need to get that done because those of you who are in my world, a lot of us are doing the same thing and we're spinning our wheels wondering how do we become more productive. For those of you who are out there saying, I can't afford to hire blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
What I learned is I couldn't not afford to hire someone else outside, especially as I grew, and I grew exponentially during COVID.
Yeah.
I needed someone to take off some of that slack. And
Yep.
then when I was talking to Todd, the reason I told you I answered him on LinkedIn is I watched what he was doing on his LinkedIn page first. And then I went, I really need this man in my world because I lack this and
Right.
I'm right. So, but
Right.
you have
Right.
to realize when you are, and this is what Todd specializes, you need to recognize when you are the bottleneck to the success that you want in your business. I learned in COVID, I was my own bottleneck. I needed to get out of my own way. I
Yeah.
needed to get off of my high horse of no one else can do this but me,
Right.
because other people can. And matter of fact, my VA does it far better than me.
Yep.
And then what I just learned with Todd, I've been overburdening her with things that she doesn't need to be doing.
She doesn't. And I hope she thanks me later. But like, here's the thing, Michelle, is everybody on both sides of the fence. You have people in the Philippines who are providing these services who, trust me, I know you get asked to do things you're uncomfortable doing, but you say yes because you want to keep your client happy.
Mhm.
And then there's people in America who just think, all I need is that magical VA, and that person's going to solve all my problems. It's wrong on both sides. And everyone just ends up being pissed off at the end of the day. And so
Frustrating.
when a VA can truly act as a virtual assistant for you, someone like you, Michelle, who's as amazing as you are, writing books, speaking, delivering awesome addresses to people, like, you do what you do. If you spent all the time you spent trying to be a technical wizard and combining the 20 pieces of software you need to do what I'm telling you we're going to do for you, if you stop doing that and focus on client acquisition, I promise you, you need 1 or 2 clients a month to pay for a team like ours to provide services that you need. Can you do 1 or 2 clients a month?
Of course.
I hope.
I
Right?
hope. I better be. Yeah.
So let's do 10 or 20, and if you're doing 10 or 20 clients a month, now all of a sudden, I can't tell you, the biggest shocker for me in building this business has been this. We start working with a company who's in growth mode, right? They've got a cool product. They're starting to build authority. They're kind of getting the news out there that they can do this cool thing. Next thing you know, they say, I literally just met with someone tonight who's a TV producer. She has a channel on Roku and similar to yours, but she has about 60 plus shows on her channel. She's coaching these producers how to do all the stuff. She's trying to do everything in-house, trying to do it with her small little team. And I just removed a burden from her over the past couple of months that she said has allowed her to grow and scale into what she thought she wanted. And that is, we started coming up with solutions for her business that are prepackaged, that are fixed rate, that are just easy for her to bite into and say, okay, I'm charging my client X, Todd's charging me X, and or Y, X minus Y equals time and money, right?
Yeah.
And that is the most beautiful solution I can provide to any business owner. If you're not making money, then you're not going to be my client for very long. But if I make you money, I'm not going anywhere, and we're going to grow together. And that's the funnest part of what I'm doing right now. I love, love, love helping other small business owners grow and scale their businesses.
And
I
it's
get
obvious
passionate
you
about it.
do. Look at that smile on your face. You
Oh my
love
gosh,
it.
I can't help myself. It doesn't even matter the industry. I just love, love, love seeing a business owner take a step back and discover that they aren't as needed as they thought they were.
Mhm. Well, and Todd, in 2022, I plan on our little team traveling around and letting all these things you set up for us set up for me, that I
Right.
make sure I keep my clients in there so that I can keep this system that we build together running.
Oh
And
yeah.
then I just jump on my shows and I jump on my talks, but we can go and spread more knowledge to more people across the United States and abroad
Right.
in this
Right.
team that we're building. Look
It's
at
an
everybody.
international solution, Michelle. And
It is.
the thing that I've learned is that even when I'm in the Philippines quite regularly,
Clark says you're the best boss.
thank you. I have such amazing people over there, and I literally find myself in many instances while I'm over there talking to small business owners who are Filipino, who are maybe they're a taxi driver, maybe they're they're running a station near a resort, maybe they're whatever it is. The principles of business are the same no matter whether you're delivering newspapers, you're selling mango smoothies on a hiking trail, or you're, it doesn't matter, running a multi-million dollar, multi-billion dollar marketing agency. The rule is you have to create a model that works for itself and that is satisfying a pain point for your clients. There's a waterfall down in south central Cebu called Kawasan Falls. I love this place. It is my happy place. And whenever I hike that trail, one of the reasons I love it so much is I can expect every time I've hiked that trail, about halfway up, there's a little house and they have children or people sitting outside with mango shakes ready for me to drink as soon as I get there. And I buy them every time on the way up and the way back. They satisfy my pain point. For my business, the pain point I solve is that most small businesses fail to build an effective funnel that not only produces leads, but funnels the lead through to client acquisition. And that's a huge pain point because, as you know, you love to be a speaker. You love to get on stages. You love to teach people and author books. But trying to find people to speak in front of and pay you for those services and then take them through to hiring you and paying you.
That's a lot of time.
If it's too complicated, nobody does it.
Yeah.
So we simplify that pain point and we make it so that those businesses can thrive. Right?
Yeah.
It's fun.
See, this is why you need to be on my show, my last show of the year, because I needed to hear that directly out of your mouth without you smiling at me doing, so you got your VA doing all that. That's what that smile was about.
That's
Now
what I was all about.
You had to get me to sit down and just listen to you instead of run around and keep going like I normally do, to realize.
Yeah. It's a small investment to make to free you up to generate revenue. And for you, Michelle, you're an excellent speaker. You're an excellent author. You're excellent at coaching people how to be better at that craft as well.
Yeah.
You aren't designed to be a tech wizard to make all these magical things happen on the internet so that you can be, trying to grow that part of your business. You just need to be the face. You need to be the solution provider. You need to solve a pain point.
Mm-hmm.
It's what every small business needs to do.
Well, everyone needs that. And when I met you, just the way, when I wrote you, your automation of just connecting with me very quickly and saying what's coming next, all that automation was just, I found phenomenal. I'm like, I need something that does that. I need some, and I'm like, what kind of, AI does he have working for him?
Right.
Because that's what I need, is to not lose people in the
Right.
shuffle. And that's where my problem is right now. Now, Todd, we only have a few more minutes. What? 2 minutes? 2 minutes left.
Ooh.
And I'm telling you, you have just dropped nugget after nugget after just, you're the perfect end of year guest for people to start thinking now what they need to be doing. Like we
Right.
said, this is that time period between two holidays where people are either doing nothing or doing everything at the last minute.
Yes. Strategizing.
If you're out there strategizing, I beg you, look up Todd and see if he can solve one of your pain points before the new year so you can be ready. So, Todd, what would you like to share with the audience? We only have 2 minutes left-ish.
2 minutes left.
Yeah.
Here's my mission. I am on a mission to help small to mid-sized companies either grow and scale if that's what you want to do, or pull yourself away from the business a little bit so the business will operate without you. There is no way to do that on your own unless you've done it before. It's so hard without a mentor or some way to guide you through product development, distribution of the product, capturing leads of people who want your product. And we provide all that solution for you in one stop. We help you refine the vision of what service you're providing so that it's clear exactly what you do. That's the first problem. Second problem is we help attract the people you want to work with. And then the third problem is we get them to pay you so that you can provide the service that you actually want to do instead of all those other things. So come to withmoku.com. Our special offer is that mcm.withmoku.com. That's our newest, latest product. But you can feel free to reach out, book a discovery call if that's what you want to do, or reach out to my team on the internet, on Facebook. And you can, if you're interested in looking for a career path, we're here for you. We have amazing specialists on our team.
You are phenomenal, Todd. I'm so glad you stumbled across me on LinkedIn. I believe the universe conspires for us to succeed, and either you make that split second decision to not or to do, and you can either find the calling or not. And I'm so glad I answered out of all of those messages I got.
God is great.
God is great. So for those of you who are watching and you learned a lot from Todd today, please share the replay of this, because that offer he just put out there and what they offer at Moku is amazing. So you can go to withmoku.com or go directly to mcm.withmoku.com. And if you'd like to go and talk directly to Todd, you can also look him up and go to toddwestra.com.
Thank you so much. And Michelle, those people who are listening all the way to the end, if you listen to the end and you want to sign up for an MCM package, I'm willing to give 10% off to anyone that mentions this show, and we will hook them up. Okay, remember that. 10% off if you mention the show. So share this with all your friends. Everyone, thank you so much. Happy New Year. Woo! And we'll see you in the new year, Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time in the United States, Wednesday, 10:30 a.m. in Asia, in the Philippines. So until next year, you be well. Go look up Moku. And Todd, thank you so much for joining us. Have a good night, everyone. Cheers.